Now, picture this. It's September 6th, 1901. It's a beautiful morning, and you're a fellow New Yorker, and you just gone and you decided you're going to go to the Pan American Exposition. It's a massive area. And you see there's lines of people there, and you see all that type of stuff. And let's say there's hundreds of people there, right? There's hundreds of people, there's five people waiting out of line. There's these massive areas of, you go inside there and you're like, oh my God, cars and stuff. And like brand new technologies, brand smacking new, right? And then you just see you walking right. Let's say you're a worker, right? And you just see the president that you just voted for, William McKinley, comes in his carriage, and you respect McKinley. You respect him because he's a man of dignity. He served his country in the Civil War. You like that? The economy's doing good, and you just think that he's just a relatively just good president, and his tariffs are protecting America. Well, you want to shake McKinley's hand, right? So what happens is you walk in, okay? You walk up the stairs and you see McKinley walking up the stairs. McKinley, he's with his bodyguards, he's with his guards and everything you can imagine. And you go up there and you go up to the Temple of Music, right? McKinley starts walking around and stuff. Then you wait in line. You get to McKinley, you shake McKinley's hand, and you're pumped up. You're excited. You could ever be. You just wish you could just shake his hand already and just say the best president. Well then, while doing that, and then you're a native Ohioan yourself, right? Hypothetically, a native Ohioan. Well then, what's going on? A random person just skips in line. This person skips in line, and you're like, "What the fuck? Hey, I was waiting here." And this guy, you can tell he's young. He's in his 20s. He looks at you for a few minutes, and the bodyguards look at you, right? Okay. Now, this is kind of a big reveal or something like that. The person that you are, you're black. You're a black person, okay? You're black. And you know this whole stereotype, but McKinley is Republican candidate. You know the Republican Party stands for the free man, stand for African Americans, or the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party just stands for slavery. Sorry, stand for segregationists and KKK. And all McKinley bodyguards are looking you up and down like that, basically. And you're thinking to yourself, I what? Now you served in the Civil War yourself, and you're just pumped up to see what happened. Pumped up. And as I said, the guy skips in line, and he ran that line, right? Well, the guy, he goes up forward. You notice the guy, he's carrying this cloth. It looks like his hand is like injured or something. Well, you served in the war yourself, so you think to yourself, oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's not a big deal. Well, you're second in line, right? And you're about to wait there. All of a sudden, McKinley pulls out his hand. The guy, without even making a beat, pulls, smacks down. You notice the guy smacks down the president's hand, and then you just hear two bangs, bang, bang, and you're in the Civil War, so you know what those gunshots are. You're not dumb. You know those gunshots are 100% bullets. And holy shit. And you rush at them. You rush on there and you immediately grab the guy. And you grab him, and the guy starts struggling with his gun, and the towel that he's carrying drops on the ground with his gun on it. And McKinley, one of the bullets hit his butt. You notice that one of the bullets didn't hit him. But then you notice another bullet is in his stomach area. And the entire crowd of people starts beating up this guy. And McKinley comes out and McKinley says, "Stop." Don't kill him. Stop. Please. Let him live. Please stop. And and you and the rest of the men, guys, you get McKinley into the hospital room where he's at. McKinley has a big problem though. You see, his wife, Ida, has a big mental health problem. You see, Ida was suffering from seizures and suffering from epilepsy. And the problem with her is that she basically was maintained badly. McKinley basically had to devote his entire life to her. So like let's say like there was an important meeting between two countries and Ida was, vomiting or not feeling so good. She had a massive seizure. McKinley would have to cancel the entire meeting, no matter what. And this was something very bad that happened. And McKinley would basically have to cancel as much things as he could just because Ida had a tragic part of her life. Uh, both of McKinley's children died when he was both died very young because he had no kids left. Um, and also, while McKinley was governor of Ohio, there was an incident at one time where McKinley, while they were in a wagon, the the carriage slipped out, and Ida actually hit her head on the ground. So Ida's health was really, really sorry. Sorry, I met my dog really, really bad. And the majority of people know that Ida's not going to handle this well, right? So McKinley, right? McKinley, he gets into a hospital room, and the first thing he says to his assistant is, "Be careful how you tell Ida, how you tell her, aka Ida, how how I was shot. What happened?" What he's basically saying is that if you just tell her, "Yeah, the president was shot," she's gonna be panicking. But if you tell the president, "Hey, the president was shot, but thankfully the bullet didn't go so far in, and he much might survive." And Ida immediately rushes to the president's side. She flies there. No, she doesn't fly there. She immediately takes a train, and she goes to the president's side. Teddy Roosevelt is all the way in New York, is all the way in North Dakota. He gets information from one of his sons. One of his sons gives it to him and says, "Hey Dad, something happened." And he gets information about this, and he's just, "Wait, what?" And he's shocked. So him and his wife Edith go all the way back to Washington D.C. It takes them a while. It's a long train ride. Before they could even stop and get to New York, um, he stopped in the train. One of the attendants there come out and says McKinley's dead. Says McKinley's dead. And like that, it's a switch. Roosevelt just thinks to himself, "Holy shit!" Is just shocked because the last assassination of a president was James A. Garfield 20 years before, and Garfield was in Ohio and himself and was also shot in the back, and they both took place a couple months apart, and they both wait a minute, hold up, no, sorry, and McKinley, he is on his the news, and Edith Roosevelt thinking to herself, "How to attack Ida?" Ida had to feel good. Ida's on the ground crying, and when McKinley is buried, this is actually really sad. Okay, Ida, Ida basically her mental health and her health got so bad that what she would do is she would refuse to eat any dinner at all, refuse to eat anything, and the only thing that gave her comfort was that she would always visit McKinley's grave, no matter what was going on. She would always go to McKinley's grave, no matter what. She went there every day you can imagine, every day. She didn't miss a single day. She went to McKinley's grave every day, and she basically refused to leave, no matter what happened. This is your photo quick. There's your photo. I'll show you real quick. This is McKinley's last words that apparently he said. And according to this, McKinley was also very, very religious. So here's McKinley's last words. Goodbye, goodbye to all is God's way. His will be done. So McKinley was very religious and was a Protestant and was deeply, 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 deeply believed in, God and religion, basically. And then hold up. You guys can see here. This is Adam McKinley. And, it's a very tragic case what happened to McKinley. It's very sad. It's a very sad case what happened to him. This is actually McKinley's death mask, as you guys can see here. Yeah, horrifying. Yeah, that's Garfield's death mask here. So here you go. Okay, I want you to guess. So that's Garfield's death mask. Okay. That's McKinley's death mask. That's Teddy Roosevelt's death mask. And we all know who that goddamn good for nothing Princeton can't brush his teeth ass, strokeaholic, KKK loving person is. And then this is McKinley on his deathbed. This was actually going to start real quick. And McKinley's death is really tragic. It's a sad case what happened to McKinley. It's a really sad case.